Thank you very much for joining me on this Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields, watching this area here right by Haiti, Cuba, and Jamaica in particular. A lot of heavy rain around. The flood threat is higher. The chance of development, though, is lower. That's some good news. I love to pass along good news in the hurricane season. With that said, as this marches closer to Belize, Honduras, and Nicaragua, and our Columbia Islands over toward San Andreas and Providencia, we could see it flare up. A quick tropical storm could still develop out of this because of those water temps. But again, development right now a little bit less likely than yesterday at this time. I'd like to let you know everything I'm seeing with that. This here Pilar, that is about to move away from Guatemala and El Salvador, and we need that to move away because there has been heavy rain and that mudslide potential is still ongoing. So let me break this down. Here's Jamaica, Cuba, eastern end of Cuba, higher chance of rain. Haiti, we're going to see from anywhere from Port-au-Prince as we work our way down toward Jacmel, that area of rain that will be around today. Areas of flooding. With that, the rivers are going to quickly rise. That's a big concern for those river crossings, especially that bigger one as you get over toward Jacmel coming out of Boston Blue. You get toward Jamaica, over toward Falmouth, Montego Bay, Kingston. We're going to see some rain. Now, may not be for all of us in Jamaica, but where we get it, we're going to get those downpours. Still some action near the ABC Islands in Colombia and Venezuela. The chance of rain is on the elevated side again. Here are the models on this. Now, not all of the models are being run on this, and that's an indication that some of the computers, these big-time computers, are saying, hey, this is not going to develop. We're not going to waste our time even running models on this. But the models that are running on this still take this system to the west, very close to Belize, Honduras, and Nicaragua, and again, our islands in the Western Caribbean. And it could briefly spin up into that tropical storm. Here we are in the Western Caribbean. I showed you that blob right there. We get back through here, Panama, Costa Rica, some rain, Guatemala, El Salvador, right on the edge of this. Heaviest of the core of Pilar. That is just offshore, south here of Mexico. Belize heads up over toward Hopkins, Ladyville, Belize City. Scattered showers and storms today, and that rain chance is only going to get higher with this tropical disturbance moving in. So we're still in monitor mode, and that's why I have that, because again, I don't want anyone having to waste their time or resources preparing for something that's not going to come. On the flip side, I do like you to prepare when we are going to have something, of course, coming our way. Monitor mode means still we're very vigilant. We're sharing this information. Thank you for sharing this channel. I've been seeing those subscribers going way up. I do appreciate that as you build our weather community together. Now, the biggest threat right now is flooding. As this works its way now through the weekend, that flood threat will stay high anywhere from Jamaica, Cayman Islands, back toward Central America. As it approaches Central America, it could spin up. Let me show you the European model, then the winds, and then get into that American model. Now, it's this area in here, that area of disturbed weather. Now, on the kind of broader picture here, here's Florida, for example. High pressure building in. Florida has some cooler weather. A front just moved by. Here's that up front, but high pressure building in behind it. That acts like a blocker. So this tropical disturbance in the Central Caribbean can't go north. That blocker is still around, so it moves off to the west, and those water temperatures are really, really warm. So it could spin up briefly. Every now and then, the European model shows a little area of low pressure really trying to develop near Nicaragua or Honduras as we work our way toward Friday. This would be Friday morning. Here's that front. That front moves away, and again, we're seeing that area of high pressure building in. So it will have a brief window to become a named system simply because of those water temperatures. Not seeing any indications right now of this becoming a hurricane, but again, not ruling that out either because we've seen how things have gone from nothing to something quickly this season. But either way, this is by Saturday. And look at that just really increased moisture. Anywhere from the Yucatan of Mexico, Belize, we've got the blocker here, keeping this moisture down here over toward Guatemala, El Salvador, again, Nicaragua, Honduras, that rain chance super high, our Colombian islands, and still enhanced showers and storms, Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. The flood threat is going to go up regardless if this is a named system or not. And again, all the models are not being run on this. If you look at my last videos, there's a lot more squiggly lines. Now, the models that are being run try to bring this to a tropical storm, but some of these models are not really reliable ones, like the ship model. Some computers are simply stronger, more powerful, better stuff in them, so they do a better job with what's going on with the environment. So as of now, this could still become a tropical storm and named system, but the bigger issue, my biggest concern is simply the flooding and the life-threatening flooding that will happen in some spots. You see that blob of rain as well. Now, as far as the winds go, just taking out in time, this is by the time we get into the end of the week, and we'll stop the clock here on Friday. little bit of a spin here, and there could be a little bit of a spin here. The models kind of hint at something trying to develop as it moves into Nicaragua. Sometimes they kind of show a little drift up to the north where something could kind of spin up near Belize. But again, not seeing any crazy winds, but the winds will get gustier by the end of the week into the weekend. Sunday as well, Eastern Caribbean, St. Lucia, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're going to see a surge of moisture. Let me show you that. If you're watching from Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to keep an eye on things. I want to show you something in a second. Here is later today, that high chance of rain Central America. Here's that disturbance, Haiti, the DR, over toward Cuba and Jamaica. Some chances of rain that are going to be higher than what we've seen over the last few days. Dominican Republic, we will see some areas of flooding, the potential of that. More of it's going to be to the west. This is by tomorrow. Again, lots of moisture here, but look at this surge over toward Trinidad and Tobago, northern Venezuela. Keeping an eye on that. We're going to see a little surge of moisture. As this moves this way, things start to feed in. You see that right there as we work our way into Friday. So Eastern Caribbean, even over toward Dominica, Montserrat, even up toward Saba, Statia, we may see increased rain, Barbados by Friday, but this area here is what could spin up into that tropical system. Cayman Islands, increased rain as we work our way into Friday. And then you see here just a lot of moisture. So there may be time for this to become a named system, but either way, tons of rain working in. We are going to see the threat of mudslides and those river rises. Again, these water temperatures very warm, mid-80s Fahrenheit, 30, 31 degrees Celsius still. So again, that's why this, as it approaches land, and we've seen this, we've seen several systems do that, not a whole lot of anything, and then suddenly just kind of spin up into a named system, working in, feeding off those warm water temperatures. We've seen that. We saw it last year. We've seen it over the last few years. Now, 2-day rain total in Jamaica. We're going to be on the edge. I mentioned some of us get the rain, some of us don't, but there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. Look at that. That's some of the, even that black gray shading, 150 millimeters of rain or 6 inches of rain. For a 2-day total, we could get a few spots in Jamaica, 4 to 6 inches of rain. Again, the flood threat is high. Thank you for sharing this information across Jamaica. Same thing as we get back toward the Cayman Islands. A little bit more down the road, though, as we work our way into Cuba, eastern end, Haiti, and even our western sections of the Dominican Republic and our southern tier, we're going to see that higher chance of rain where we could get some totals of 4 to 6 inches of rain, upwards of 100 millimeters to 150 millimeters of rain. And that's why I mentioned with that runoff, especially in Haiti, we'll see that river rise. Now, as we get into November, which we are now, I do expect it to stay relatively active. Of course, this time of year, things kind of really quiet down from the peak of the season, which is mid-September. But occasionally we get a named storm or two, and I do believe we'll get 1 to 2 named storms in this month. So it is going to stay relatively active through November. So I'm going to be tracking it for you. And again, last November was historically active when we had landfalling hurricanes that caused all sorts of devastation in spots. So again, obviously not letting our guard down. Next name on the list is Vince. Whitney after that. If we get through the list this month, the next name on the list will be Adria. We go to a secondary list this year. It's not the Greek alphabet. So we're going to get very close this month to getting into another name, another list of names. Now, what we're dealing with as we work our way into the Eastern Pacific side, Pilar. It hasn't been quite as active on the Eastern Pacific side, but this here, again, that's been bringing some of the rain to extreme coastal sections of Guatemala and El Salvador. Fortunately, Pilar will start to work away. That is good news. So the core of Pilar moves away, stays a tropical storm. With that said, lots of rain already around now and as we go over the next few days. So, and as I mentioned, watching this new tropical disturbance in the Caribbean, that is going to bring another surge of rain. So we're going to see this kind of really piling on. That is a huge, huge issue that some areas that have already had way too much rain are going to see more. And that's why I mentioned, I don't use that term lightly. We do have life-threatening flooding that is going to be an issue for about the next 3 to 5 days, and I'll be sharing that information for you. Now, Jamaica, rain chance is going to be elevated. I mentioned the flooding. We highlighted that. Cayman Islands, it's going to be picking up tomorrow. So we're going to see this tropical disturbance moving into Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, eventually working its way toward Belize. It could be a tropical storm by the time it gets to Belize. Still an enhanced chance of rain the next couple days. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. Thank you for leaving the comments. I've been getting to those. We've had some rain around. As we work our way into Haiti, high concern for those river river crossings. Dominican Republic, scattered to widespread rain and storms today, especially against southern and western sections today. Puerto Rico, more in the way of isolated showers and storms, and not as much U.S. and British Virgin Islands, about a 20% chance. Barbados, we're going to see that rain chance get higher. I was showing you that extra surge of moisture. As this tropical disturbance goes this way, we're going to see a surge of moisture working in. Same thing in St. Lucia. So Friday into the weekend, watching that carefully. Trinidad and Tobago, it's going to shoot up. We are going to have some flooding in Trinidad and Tobago by the end of the week. Grenada, same thing, watching out for that higher chance of rain. And St. Vincent of the Grenadines, bumping up Friday and even Saturday with that new surge of moisture. So Guadeloupe, while there's not a lot around today, Guadeloupe, Dominica, and Martinique, the end of the week, we'll see that chance of rain getting up to at least 50 to 60% by the time we get into Friday. Antigua, Barbuda, holding at about a 20 to 30% chance, 20 to 30% chance, St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat. Same thing as we get over toward Anguilla and St. Bart's, 20 to 30% chance, St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. And the rain chance will be on the higher side today in Bermuda. We've already had some rain overnight. So watching again some of that action nearby. Yucatan and Mexico, keeping an eye on this system, which could become a tropical storm. The Bahamas, scattered showers and storms possible. The front that is sliding by. Turks and Caicos, a little bit more elevated today and then going down some. Now Cuba, it's eastern sections where we'll have that higher chance of rain and that flooding today. I was showing you that with some of the rain totals. Costa Rica, rain chance stays overall elevated, not for all, but rain chance elevated. Some of the storms could produce some good downpours, I guess good, relatively speaking, north and eastern zones of northern Venezuela, or western sections, I should say, closer to Colombia. Guyana, 30% chance of rain today, but increasing some, 20 to 30% chance in Suriname. So as we work our way forward, all eyes are on what is trying to develop in the Caribbean and keeping an eye on what's left of Pilar as that tries to move away. Right now we're okay, not seeing signs of development, which is good, but watching those warm water temperatures as that disturbance moves to the west, and that flooding threat only gets higher, and we have another month to go in the hurricane season. So thank you for getting the word out about this very high flood potential. I do appreciate it. It is great seeing your comments. I'll be going through those throughout the day. Be safe and have a good rest of your day.